Good day, everyone, and you're welcome back to our unit CHCCCS040, that is supporting independent and well-being. Today we are going to be going forward with our presentation, and we are going to be talking more about, or we're going to be starting about recognizing and supporting individual differences. Of course, if we were talking about supporting independent well-being, there's a lot of people with different idea, different attitude, and different notion. So understanding these individual differences will help you and I that we are working in this healthcare industry to know how best and what is it that actually will make our clients feel safe, and we make them to tap into their innermost strengths in order for them to actually bring out the independency and well-being that we are talking about. So support individual difference. In supporting this, we must recognize and respect the personal, social, cultural, and spiritual differences. Avoid imposing our own view or expression or identity or preference on other people or people that we are supporting. We should always put our clients as in the middle of everything we are doing. That is, a personal-centered care approach needs to be done. That is, we need to consider the individual needs, their present stage in life, the level of development, their strength, as well as weaknesses when we are supporting them. No matter how challenged the person with, we need to recognize, respect, and accommodate them in their expression, their identity, their sexuality, and maturity. Also, we need to promote and enable participation in activities that reflect the person's individual needs. Whatever they say that this thing actually work well for them, we should support them and help them in actually achieving those goals without any form of hindrances. So support worker, we must be natural to recognize these three differences, that is the social differences, cultural differences, and spiritual differences. Some of the best practice in recognizing the differences is asking the person and listening, as well as acknowledging their view and options or opinion when they are actually voicing it. If we are unsure, or if our client is not verbal, if they can't say much, we can have a chat. We can rely on their family, friends, as well as carer in order to know more about them. And of course, we can also read through their personal file, their profiles, in order to get much in-depth or much knowledge about the person we are supporting. Because it's only when you know them, it's only when you are familiar with their personal, their background, their do's and don'ts, that you can actually make any impact. And don't say because you are so familiar with them, you are using some derogatory words or calling when you're supporting them. So ask them and make sure you call them with their preferred name. Ask for their permission before helping them. The other time I told you, before you can support anyone, if you don't seek their consent, then that means you are not doing the right thing. So, because assuming someone comes to you now and they want to, probably even if they want to help you, they need to seek your permission before they go ahead and do anything. Don't forget about what Dr. ABC did. The first thing is look for the danger. If you want to even help someone in crisis, when you look for danger, the next is response. Check for response. Talk to them and seek their response before you actually go ahead. Listen to the feedback about how they feel and provide choice for their meals or drink or whatever activities they decide they want to actually engage in. Having flexible routine in your day-to-day support tasks will actually enable your client to actually benefit more. So decision about their carer or other services must come from them, and this must include providing information so that the person can make an informed decision. As a care worker, as a support worker, or even mental health challenge worker, even nurses, we need to always think about how we provide the appropriate information for our client, for them to actually decide how they want to step forward or how they want to go forward. Involve the person in daily decision, like what outfits they would like to wear for that day, how they want to be recognized. Enable the person to maintain contact with friends and local community. This is one of the most paramount, most important thing when it comes to supporting people in care. When you start working in this industry, you will understand that there's a lot of elderly people, particularly those that are likely to be working in aged care. There's a lot of elderly people that their family member doesn't really come in to check on them. So catching up with friends and taking them to even have like a coffee outside in the community, or even shopping, those are some of the things that they really enjoy doing. So it is our responsibility to really understand what is it that really works for this person and support them in achieving those goals. And that is in achieving that, we can say we are actually supporting them to achieve their individual independency as well as well-being. Consider the individual needs, their stage of life, development and strength for support activities. Sorry, excuse me. Yeah, in supporting individual, you can consider many factors, but you are also likely to be working with individualized plan. So always put their individual plan in front whenever you want to support them, because that's the only way you can say you are following the person-centered approach that involved that client in the first place. And with that, you will be able to actually address the person's needs, their goals and preferences. So each stage of life brings different experience, needs, goal to a person. As you are now, you decide to venture into healthcare. Of course, some of us has been working in particular in the industry before. Some of us are new to this industry, but because we have gotten to another stage in our life, our orientation has changed, our attitude towards some things has changed. We want to really explore other things. Then that will say, this stage of my life, this is what I want to do. Like you are saying that people you are supporting, either mental health challenge, either aged, either disability, they also have different stages in life, and we don't want, during that stages they will be prone to something new. Like human body grows, mature, then decline as age goes. So if you are working in aged care, you will meet some of the aged person that are very very sound, or even they are nurses, doctors in their prime age, but because of this present stage of their life, they have declined in some of their intellectual ability. So they rely on us to be able to actually go through their day-to-day activities. And when we are going there, when we are providing this kind of support, we need to always let them we need to show them that we understand, and we are there to actually support them with to achieve their well-being, even when they are growing through this part in their life. Intellectual, emotional, social capabilities generally mature with age. If you are working with young people now, of course, there are some activities that you can suggest to them that will be profitable to them, that if you suggest the same activities to an elderly person, it will not fit in. So we need to understand these stages in their life and look at what is it that we need to provide that will actually suit them. A person may lose the need to meet sexual tendency at some age. Some people take part in more sexual activities as they reach particular age, and some people can move from different place to another or different culture to another depending on their lifestyle. So we need to understand this and work with them in achieving their needs when it's come to this particular approach. When we are saying we are supporting them to in this particular approach, there's what we call strength-based approach. Strength-based approach is a method in which you incorporate in the individual plan what the person actually is good at. And you can only get this information when you involve the clients in that, when you involve them in creating and developing the plan. You involve them, you involve their family, you involve the carers, you involve their friends. Then you have what we call a holistic picture of that particular person, and it's effective because it increases the person participation. They gain a lot of sense of belongings and a lot of self-control because this is what they believe it's all about them. So they are ready to actually give their best, they are ready to participate, and they are ready to move forward with you in achieving those goals. So give the person the best support activities that address their needs on a daily basis, and make sure the supporting activities is more compatible to the client's condition. What do we mean by this? Your clients probably, of course, as I made mention of, when you are working with young people, the support that you are providing for young people will be different from the support you provide for an elderly person that their mobility has actually reduced. If you said you want to do activities and you are intending to go for a walk of 100 meters now, if you are dealing with an elderly person, that might be too much for them. Understand what is it that they are capable of doing. There was a situation whereby a client, an autistic client actually, is working with elderly women. The elderly woman is a care worker, support worker, and however, this young person, they have a lot of energy in them, and they have some behavior of concern. So the only way to actually calm them down is if they go for a very long drive, or no, if they go for a very long walk, or they actually go for like a run. Mixing or putting this particular client in the very good hand of an experienced elderly woman, do you think is a good fit? No, it's not. That is the reason why this particular young person is having behavior of concern virtually every day, until they actually sit down and they try something different. They bring in a young, agile young person to actually come in to support them. Of course, the elderly woman is still supporting them, but they change the roster. They allow the young person to come in and take them out, take them for that long run, and by the time they come home, the elderly person will be there to actually guide them, to actually tell them, support them in the home environment. And by that time, they will have really exhaust some of the energy. So you need to really understand what is compatible with regards to how you fit into your client's life. Likewise, we are saying recognize, respect, and accommodate expression of identity, sexuality according to maturity. In the current society, there are some of the elements that we need to always recognize and respect. Sexuality and sexual expression are closely linked to someone's sexual behavior, sexual belief, attitude towards sex. However, sexual expression refers to a person's behavior that influence their sexuality. That doesn't mean that we can't refer to something different as sexual expression. And issues surrounding sexual expression can be people that have no partner, someone that lost sensation of ejaculation, poor mobility due to stroke or arthritis, reduction in power, rigidity, vagal lubrication, to mention but few. So all these issues can be associated with sexuality, but we as allied as care worker, as support worker, what is it that we are going to be doing in our role to actually help in promoting and facilitating participation of this individual to meet up with their needs? There are two critical when it comes to providing support for a person. They guarantee that the person address their need. We need to always take care of their well-being and doing the activities on their own to encourage any form of independence that they are looking for. Independence. How do we promote independency? Every individual has right to autonomy, which means a person has right to take decision in matters that affect them, allowing them to do things that they want to do. And when you talk about the person independence, you are referring to their rights. And if the paraventure you believe what they are intending to do is not right for them, you can give them the right suggestion and still allow them to actually make the necessary decision based on what they believe is right for them. And that is what we can refer to as self-actualization. Self-actualization is when you allow someone to actually decide what they believe works well for them, and a complete realization of their potential, full development of their abilities, as well as gaining appreciation for their life. Any question, guys? If there is no question, we'd like us to call it a day here, and we'll see you next time as we keep our studies on this particular topic, which is supporting independence and well-being. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.